Good afternoon, guys. Hope you're all well. You do have to excuse the voice. I've got a horrendous cold. So we're going to kick things off with this video here very, very quickly. It's my Sunday night analysis going over the charts and the technical. So we won't take into account any fundamentals, just purely on technicals.
This was an area of concern. Yes, it was late summer, July, coming into
This is what I post on a Sunday.
August. Had we have tapped into this zone here and retested it, we could have quite easily seen lows as of October.
So I know it sounds a little dramatic, this potential sell-off that I've just said, but you wouldn't have said that coming into the back end of the year. Okay, we've had various Santa Claus rallies throughout the last 9 years of me trading, but this was kind of out of the blue. And obviously I was in Thailand at the duration of this, so I just scalped it on the way up. However, the DAX specifically, we was, or at least retracing from the highs, 17k, 16.8, and we're kind of falling into a bit of a wedge. We've got some sort of supporting trend line here, resisting trend line here, and we're coming into a squeeze. So certainly for the swing traders out there, we're wanting to see a breakdown or break out in terms of future trades. As day traders and as sniper entries as we are, we need to then look on the 3 and 5 minutes. But this was our main concern here. 5, 3, 4, huge supply. Okay, so that's what I posted on Sunday. So to bring it back into real time is today. So as per this quick video,
I know this doesn't look very technical.
At 8:30.
Bear with me 2 seconds. So if we start trending upwards here, and we start making...
In fact, what I'll tell you is if we're making lower lows and higher highs, and we're going to sort of test this area, this is the key area that we were looking to break and potentially go in for longs or retest. So, onto the actual zones. We broke here in the morning, pre-market, sold off, and then found a bottom. I actually went short here, took a small loss, and then I went in on the potential break and retest. Fairly small in terms of the account size, but these are the sort of trades that we're looking for. Yes, we did identify 5, 3, 4 as a potential supply area where we could break and absolutely tank. However, we haven't done, and we found some support as per the pivot points here. So 500 is pretty much after the main move has happened, and not a lot really going on, 30 points or so. So I put in the chat here, I actually went in long. So I was trading both accounts, my funded account and my personal account. May add if we hold 3, 4. So I went in long, caught the 500. That was pulling back, long DAX. In fact, no, we'll go from market open. Okay, so this was me in the gym.
Morning, guys.
Putting some work in. Seeing this area that we was using, I call it a pivot point. It's an area of interest for me that the market could either go one of two ways. That's why sometimes I have it yellow, because then I'm not too biased. If I'm out and about on my phone, or I'm busy, or someone answers the door, it does happen, guys. We all get tied up with things, whether it be kids, work, or otherwise. If I have a line there, it makes me then zoom out on the 1 hour, the 15, not rush for an entry, see if it's a sniper entry, if I'm going to scalp it, see where the volume is, see what's happening in terms of fundamentals, and really be confident in that entry and exit. You know, we've always got to have an exit plan. Sorry, this is kind of coming over here. In fact, now put me up here. So we was concerned whether this would have been a bit of a fake out or acting as support for a potential long to push back in this. This was a resisting trend line here. So there we go. This is the chat. So essentially, took a short of 500 for scalp. Yeah, very, very scrappy this morning, as you can just see on the charts here. Not a lot to go at. There was pretty much a 50 to 70 point move. Nevertheless, we did identify not a reversal as such, but a bit of bottom. If we're making higher lows and higher highs, and we start trending upwards, it's giving us an indication of a change in direction. So I went in at 525, anticipating a breakout and into the supply area, and then I would have liked to have added towards this resisting trend line, or this squeeze that we had. So now we're coming back into this area. So it's no coincidence that we're bounced off here on the last week, and then this is an area again. Call it accumulation zone, consolidation zone, call it what you will. I mean, there is an argument saying that these are handy scalping opportunities because there's not much volume and volatility. So if you're only after 10, 15 points on a high leverage account or reasonable capital, you can do. So I got out with I got 610 on my funded account. And then I went in again. This is the specific trade, hoping that I was gonna add to this, but I ended up taking £400-500, left some unrealized gains on the table, which it does happen, guys. It is what it is. It'd be nice to have taken 1,000 because I did eventually get 1,000 on the funded account, which was £2,000 or £800 for myself because I take 20%. And as you can see here, we're getting some nice technicals drawn by Leighton. So, all in all, probably not the greatest examples. This being said, is this going to hold for a potential long on the DAX? See, I had this marked as well in the chat, so I actually said to the guys that the Dow was Dow was pulling back, scrap the shorts, long DAX. So that's when I went in at 20 past. And this is a sort of typical scalping day for myself. I'm only after 10-15 points. This would have been a nice trade if we'd have gone in at £50 per point and held these zones here on this double bottom. That would have been a nice 3k, but I didn't do that. In hindsight, is a wonderful thing. But that's what we did on the analysis on Sunday, leading over to today. Yesterday was low volume because it was Martin Luther King holiday. But that's a sort of a typical analysis and input to the community, as well as this. I mean, this is possibly a bit of a error on my behalf because we have got plenty of support in here, which I did say to the chat in the group. I did say that the Dow had plenty of support. Plenty of support on the Dow. Take a small swing long, and I didn't do that. So I was at 8:30. So had I have done that at 8:30 on the Dow, we'll go in on the 10 minutes. So yeah, I would have caught the bottom, and then we've obviously had a double bottom and then push long. So bit of a shame, because that would have been probably the trade to have taken, whilst there was not a lot of activity on the DAX. But this is how I scalp, guys. Finding these zones and scalping high capital, seeing that support, double bottom, it's not wanting to break, it's not wanting to tank. We're finding support in and around here and we're going long. We'll have a look at the NASDAQ. Wow, that's even better. Not got much on the way in terms of NASDAQ at the moment, have I? Bit dry. And again, looking back to support areas, seeing where we've retraced into, finding support. I mean, ideally you probably want a 4 hour. Yeah. So just by clicking on the 4 hour shows how much we've wicked off. So this would have been an interest to me because I'd have had a one there and one there. I know everyone does it slightly different. So I'd have taken an average between them both 4 hours, or the average for the day, if that makes sense. And then potentially, yeah, and then we've tapped into it here. So again, not overly complicated. Supply, demand, support, resistance. You know, your blueprint for charting, in my opinion, is support and resistance. As an investor, I'm always looking at what is a supporting price. You know, is Tesla a $200 stock, and it's always going to be that? Is Bitcoin always going to be 20 grand minimum? So on and so forth. That's a supporting price. Excuse me. We'll have a look at the dollar. It gapped up today, which was kind of worrying, possibly why equities pull back ever so slightly. Even I was half tempted to look at the FTSE at one stage, but no, that's slowly tanked pull back the last couple of days. So this sort of breakout was what I was after earlier. Thought we might have got a good 20-30 points, at least tested pre-market highs, or the Asian session. Didn't quite do that. That's what I had my eye on. Bearing in mind, I only need 20-30 points, guys. £50 per point, £100 per point. Sometimes I'm scaling into positions, adding to winners. So yeah, bit of a basic sort of video, but gives you an insight to what we've done on a Tuesday morning.